Okay, I'm Jerry Roth. I'm 76 years old. How many people here are older than I am? Okay, just proved my point. I'm here in Philadelphia for the second time in my life to bring my wife and show her Philly. And 40-something years ago, I was a dental student at University of Pennsylvania, which was probably the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. I listened to my father, who said, it's good if you could become a dentist. You have a day off a week to play golf. You know, you make a lot of money. It's a prestigious kind of thing. What he didn't tell me was that I had I didn't tell him. I had no interest, no aptitude for it, and no mechanical ability, no spatial ability. After about a month, I said, I think it's time for me to get out of here, and displeased him no end. But the theme tonight is Incognito, and I feel like for a good part of my life, I've been an incognito. I'm an identical twin. How many of you have a twin? Okay, you may know what I'm talking about. My twin brother, who's my older brother, is 3 minutes older. For the good part of my early life, he was my guide, my leader. And I followed him dutifully, and I let him take the lead, and he let me lay back. And our roles are switched now. We're reversed. I think I've begun to come into my own. But we had situations like people would come up to us and say, are you or are you your brother? Which twin has the Tony? For those of you who aren't old enough, that's an old commercial. The Doublemint twins, so on and so forth. For my high school yearbook, everyone was given a quotation. We had a small high school, private school, some beautiful quotes, and that were kind of fitting, long Latin quotes, everything very classy. And my brother's picture was below mine, and it had a beautiful quote, and mine was ditto and amen. Now, if that's not a good quote, but what I want to tell you about is, because my wife's here, I want to make a tribute to her for a story of how we met. I had been married for almost 12 years, and it was not a happy experience. My wife now calls that my practice marriage. Well, I didn't practice. I wasn't very good at it. I was single for 8 years. And I was looking for a nice Jewish woman. And I kept finding nice non-Jewish women and very not nice Jewish women. and one day I'm sitting in the park, and a friend of mine said to his wife, we were sitting together, honey, how about Jerry and Rosalie? Turns out that Rosalie, who's my wife, had just joined this guy's group practice. She's a clinical social worker, and thought that she and I would hit it off. The wife says, nah, I don't think so. And that was pretty much the end of it. A few months later, I'm in my school district. I worked as a school psychologist, and mental health practitioners were coming to our district to help us learn how to make referrals to mental health agencies for kids and families. And I saw her name on the list of presenters. And I had to meet her, and I had to sit in her group. And I went out to the parking lot and waited until someone who I thought fit her description came. And there she was, and I tell her to this day exactly what she was wearing. She says to this day, that's not what I was wearing. But I sat in her little group, and I thought it was the most brilliant presentation I ever heard. And it turns out that she had told me after years of marriage that she and her friend sat up for 5 minutes the night before preparing this talk. So I was pretty taken. She called it the 3 C's, which I won't go into. I made a date with her after making several phone calls. She had no idea who I was. I met her after the class, after the workshop, but she didn't know me. And I take the day off from work to meet her at her office. And it was just, I was so excited, even more nervous than I am at this moment. I walk up the stairs to her office, and I see her coming down the stairs with her very good friend. And she said, "Are you Jerry?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "You're a week early." And it turned out, to this day, I believe I had the right date and that she put it down the wrong way. So that's how our relationship started. She didn't know me. She didn't recognize me. I found out from many years of experience that she doesn't recognize faces. But I took it very personally, being a twin who'd always felt incognito. So I'll stop right there because I see the light on. Thank you.